snap out of this. I'm so tired. I snap out of this. I can't believe I didn't bet.
I don't think
That's what I said. I
Tom liked your play there.
Harry, you're 100% right. She turned a gutter. She should have bet the turn.
Do you think Susan's going to start playing more aggressively later? After that hand?
Yeah, maybe. She wakes up with ace queen suited, so it always nice to wake up with the hand also at the same time. So we'll see.
100%
Makes it 300, no straddle on, I believe. And Alexo calls the 6-4 suited, mixing it up. Harry going to call it the king queen for the small.
I'll be up.
I may have to raise then.
It would have been interesting if Harry would have with 3-bet with the king queen, and what would happen with the ace queen behind after that.
Yeah.
Are you promised you're going to bet the flop no matter what? Okay.
I keep my word.
Check.
Oh,
Good flop for Alexo.
yeah.
Is Susan going to get away to 1-bet, or is she going to? Or she bets herself?
Yeah, she's going to bet. She said she wasn't bet 100%, which was on Harry, but I think obviously Lex is coming along. Harry's
This
going to
comes
go away.
along, standard call. I don't mind raising these situations. You kind of put these types of hands.
8 of diamonds or like a 3. Oh, there it is.
It's supposed to be only.
And he's got a gutter straight flush draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me bet chose one. I think he might be cool.
Bad news for Susan.
Yeah.
She continues to bluff.
Barrel, yeah. I think Lex is going to flat it. I don't think he's going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's gonna
keep
flat it.
good
Got a
flat.
backdoor flush on top of that.
Keep the bluffs in. You're going to win a big bet against overpairs anyways. This is
That's a bad river for Lexo.
It is. At the same time,
But less
Susan,
likely.
not that much 5, not that
100%.
much 3. So,
I
nothing you have to be
totally
too
agree.
worried about. Deceptively not the worst.
I don't think he's going to, like you said, how often does she have a 5 or a 3 in his hand?
Yeah, might be worth raising here. I don't think he will.
Oh, she actually pushed all in.
Lex raises. Good raise. Good raise. It's not going to matter here, I believe.
No.
It's a good hand.
Sure.
Hand should be.
But Lexo really understanding the situation here, understands that from when Susan opens early position, 5x, 3x, not really in range. Meanwhile, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, aces, etc., still in range, and your hand is definitely good enough to go for value there. Some people would definitely miss that, so good play by Lexo.
And if you had ace 5 in that hand, you would have checked the flop. You would not have let out in that flop.
From this hand?
I'm sure Paul's steaming inside right now. If I know Paul. He wants to know what Lexo had. We could watch stream in a little bit.
端引いてこの人やっと来たハンドなのでタイミン
Look
グ
at
悪いです
Let's get in some hands.
そうですね、タイミング悪いですね。やっぱりでもポール自体が 8% とかしかフィーピップしてない状態に対してやっぱり6ベット6ベットオールインっていうのは多分相当イメージ的に強いと思うんですね。ポールからしたらポール自身があんまりハンドをプレーしてないことを理解してるんで、全然ハンドプレーしてない俺に対して俺の5ベットに対して6ベットで入ってくるってことは相当強いんじゃないかっていう想定内で多分クイーンズが降りたと思うんですけど、タイミングは確かに悪いですね。
So we got 4-way to the pot. Lexo had the best hand. Lexo flopped the best.
Yeah, it's the Lexo show at the
Yeah,
moment.
right now. No one really has much there. Oh. Harry's not going anywhere on the turn. He's got to bet something. Lexo's going to bet what?
Goes 2/3-ish.
4,000.
Toss it, threw it away.
Harry makes it 4,000.
Probably did.
It's that check on the flop that kind of induced this action.
I believe so, yeah. Even though the check is pretty standard, multi-way.
You raised me to 4,000.
He's asking how much.
You might just get it all in there.
Behind?
655.
Yeah, reasonable for sure. I think folding is out of the equation.
Well, Lexo can't just call, I don't think.
I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree with that necessarily. Just because, like, you know, he has hands like 2 spades, Jack 10, 6, 7. You kind of want him to just like keep bluffing. Because he's very polar. So, like, if you go all in
there
here,
it is.
Always that one.
Yeah.
Keeps on getting cards.
okay, and we ends up calling, but
Wow. Yeah, I mean, once he committed 4, I don't think Harry's going to get away from his hand.
yeah. But even look at his hand; he's got 16%.
Yeah.
So you don't mind keeping those draws in
Yeah.
and just whatever. Hopefully they blast off.
And it's the best of both worlds for him. Just going to get 60% in, and
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
it's for all his chips.
You just don't let
Can't run it twice here.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Let's see the sick ass river. Here we go.
8 or 10.
Yeah, and it's an ace, 2 pair. Not needed, but nice to have nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, fast playing is reasonable. Like I said, even open enders have 16%. If you think someone's blasting, just keep them wide,
Yeah.
keep their bluffs in. Here he gets called by an open
I just think
ender.
it's part of it was what he had left behind too. You know,
少ないチャンスをものにしてるなと思う。まあそうですね、ライブを見るのと、やっぱり編集された動画を見るのと全然違いますよね。
But it's on you.
やっぱりポーカープロって、
What should I do?
まあ特にキャッシュゲームのプロだと、すごい勝ってる方でも、大体3割から4割ぐらい負けちゃうんで、まあ頻度的に言えば、まあもちろん長期的にはすごい勝ってるんですけど、やっぱり、
I'm gonna go on the boot box
そう
shot.
ですね、ライブ配信が出ると、どっちかといえば、まあ3回に1回ぐらい勝ってないんで、そういうのがたまたま繋がっちゃったりすると、ライブ配信でも勝てなくなっちゃいま
this
す
is what I wanted to see: Alexo against Masato
There we
against the
go.
two guys.
There we go.
Oh, but Paul might ruin that
Yeah,
parade.
he's ruining it for sure.
You don't know what you did.
Paul's thinking like, man, if I cold 4 here, is this guy just gonna like 5 at me again? Like every
Does he have aces?
Yeah.
You're looking at ace king and the guy's got ace. You're like, damn.
Yeah, no choice, but formation's different. This is cutoff versus smaller. It's big blind. You will cold
So
4.
18.
Yeah, you will cold 4 as hands as weak as king 10 suited here if you're playing at GTO, quote unquote.
You started with 20 again, ish.
I think Lex is gonna call, just because I think he's been getting some pretty good flops.
4 points.
Yeah, and I can't see Paul's chip stack from here, but assume deep enough.
Yeah, my son fell.
He has 20. I think it's 20. It might be 15K.
Yeah, I mean, you are just getting a good price, and Paul definitely is a man who can mix it up. If you're just up against kings, queens, aces, and ace king, you can just pitch it, but Paul not one of those people, getting a good price. Play out of position.
Entire life.
Oh,
So it's like earthquakes.
Good flop for Paul.
Yep.
Lexo does pick up a gutter and a backdoor flush draw. He probably will continue to 1-bet,
I mean, like, baby ones happen, like,
All the time.
assuming you're just going to check here, yeah. Lexo's going to continue to 1-bet, but I do think that if he does not get there on the turn, Paul's going to bet the turn, and
you
he's
think
just not
Paul's
going
gonna
to
size
continue.
about 50%?
I think it's going to go a little smaller. I could be wrong.
huge lot.
It doesn't really matter.
But sometimes when you look at that flush draw, looking at you too, you're looking at 2 draws and
Yeah.
forward, you tend to go a little bit bigger. I tend to do it that way.
People do that, but it's actually the opposite. When there's flush draws, you typically want to size down
Oh, he
because
really sized down.
they're not gonna fold the flush draw, and now when the board changes on the turn, there's a bigger pot that you cannot now win.
Yeah.
This is very small, but yeah, I mean it's a 4-bet pot, 10% pot, not bad.
Yeah.
I'd probably go a little bigger.
There's the equity. There's the added equity.
There's
on
the
turn.
equity, yeah, there's the equity. Ace King specifically can typically size up. You just get called by a weaker ace a lot, and you get good value out of
He's
it.
definitely sizing up on the turn.
In Ohio.
Yeah,
It's not going to be another. I don't think it's going to be a small bet on turn.
It ain't going to be 10%, that's
No,
for sure. It's
no.
going to be anywhere from 30 to 60%.
Yeah, this can be closer to 50%
Maybe even 80.
range. Yeah.
And again, on the turn is where you can really charge people. On the flop, they're going to have 2 streets to realize, but on the turn, they only have 1.
Oh, Paul's playing this tricky. Oh, no. Paul just checked himself into the Lexo nuts.
The Lexo show continues.
Does Paul pay him off? That's the question. How does he gonna get away with whatever Lexo bets?
I'm very interested to why Paul checked the turn. Maybe he's afraid of Lexo's range hitting here on the turn, because otherwise you have a pretty clear value bet.
God.
Calls. Yeah.
Very lucky.
Who knows? Probably ended up. It's hard to say. If he goes big on the turn, Paul, him being Paul, I
Will
believe
Lexo call?
I think Lexo's quote unquote supposed to fold some hands like this. You just don't get
double.
the equity.
Call, but
Any more info fucking nation.
you know, any big issue just crushing you.
Fucking patient away.
Yeah, but I think Perry just talking about because it's Bruce specifically too.
It's just tight.
Yeah, that's what it seems like he's insinuating.
Oh, there's your wine.
Was that Camus?
It looks like it.
What do I owe you?
Susan in the cutoff with ace 7 offsuit.
Keep the change.
Can you give me a glass? Is there a glass?
Did Harry just hand 3 C notes to the waitress to keep the
Want
change?
some wine?
Who wants wine?
Yes.
No. I'm in. And then
Nick 3 with
Oh, look at
900.
Lex.
Lexo with the king,
We're gonna need
Cowboys.
more glasses. Then we're gonna need another bottle.
Let's see what size.
Yeah, what sizing does he do on the four bet here?
We're gonna be
2,000, 1,800 to 2,200 would be probably the most quote unquote GTO approved size. People
I would
tend to
think
go
it's going to
bigger.
be a little
here,
over
though.
2, no?
you pay
People tend to go
About
bigger.
2?
How are you? Or
18 to 2. You don't really need to go more than min.
thank you.
1.9,
Yeah.
right in the middle. Oh,
my God.
No.
Yeah, but how are you?
Paul's going to lose it.
Thank you, boss.
Paul is always in the short end of these sticks. It's crazy.
He just lost kings against aces at the end of the last stream.
some too?
He is
Yeah.
going to go. He's going to go nuts.
But one silver lining, they are 400 big blinds deep, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice playing with
Or
you.
I don't know, are they? I don't know if the straddle's on or not. 200 if the straddle's on, 400 if the straddle's
Yeah.
not. Don't think you're just going to go with it for queens for that much, but it is a brutal situation.
Yeah. Does he cold 5-bet or just smooth call
I
4?
think he's going to cold call, yeah.
No, it's just like he's got some chips.
$300, but it's
Nope.
it's from the Joseph.
Cold
Bell.
fives.
It's really good.
Well, Susan's going to go away.
People don't know this. You're allowed to cold call 4
Let it
bets
breathe a little
with
bit.
an anti-structure.
Breathe a little bit.
It's GTO approved if you start using some other
Yeah.
sims or whatever you want to call them.
Well,
People think you can't, but you're allowed to.
That's what I got me from. I mean,
Situations like this.
opens up big time.
Facing a 5-bet. I think Lexo is probably going to flat. But
I mean, he's got all the choices basically. I mean, he could play any way he wants to play this time.
besides fold, yeah.
Yeah, of course he's either going to raise or I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see 5-bets often. Again, like last session we were talking, I think he's just going to like call here.
he's afraid of them might have. Yeah, I mean, he's afraid of aces potentially, but
Not just that, but if you 6-bet rip here, Queens probably isn't going to flick it in.
No, for
Ace King
sure.
might find a disciplined fold.
Yeah, yeah.
So Kings just doesn't really, you don't really accomplish anything with any portion of your range unless you exploitatively have aces and think you're just going to get called.
well,
Nonetheless, he goes all in and Paul's just going to get away, I'm sure.
yeah, he's just sick to his stomach.
ここでオールイン入ってきたんですけど、まあ、多分ポールはここで降りると思います。
Well, Paul doesn't play the hand. He's probably thinking in his head like, damn, finally get a hand.
But it's more reason, you know, Lex hasn't seen Paul play a hand, so and he's the guy who put the 5-bet in. Like, Paul's just going to get away again.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident of it. まあこれ多分絶対降りると思います、ボールは。
yeah.
I was paying attention. I'm not sure.
そうですね、まあ、5ベッ
It's the same. I think
トに対して6ベットが入っていると、まあ、クイーンズだとそこまでいいハンドじゃない。比較的、もう 400BB とか入ってくると、もうクイーンズで突っ込んじゃうと、絶対もう負ける、マイナスイーブンアップになっちゃうんで、ポールはここで降りると思うんですけど。
In best case, he has is flipping. That's the best case he has.
Yeah,
Let's
he's gonna let it go.
Yeah, I think so too.
Fairly confident.
Yeah.
You want some wine?
Oh no, I don't drink.
I mean, think about it. Paul's played very few hands this stream. Granted, he's running dead, card dead, but Lexo doesn't know that.
Yeah.
For all Lexo knows, the guy who hasn't played a single hand just, you know, 5-bet you.
Hopefully.
So should.
Like, you have queens here, it's 6-bet all in. Like,
Yeah, he's gonna mug.
Huh? What?
Is that what you're trying to
Good mug,
Yeah, I
Paul.
was gonna say that.
You said.
As
long as he didn't snap
Never
over.
mind.
Okay.
yeah, understandable jam by Lexo, but that's kind of why I don't really like to jam 6-bet
Right.
jam that here.
You're right. You're taking all the jacks, queens. They're all gonna go away.
Yeah, if you're playing someone who's just gonna flick it in,